Oh, it looks really good.
It is really good. I put too much lime though, I think. Like I feel like it doesn't need, it tastes really limey. Should I go get the Tabasco?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. Do you know Chipotle? Long story short, I used to work there in high school, and there used to be this woman who would come in. We had the big bottles of these. She would just grab them and put them in her pocket or her bag and leave.
Was it taco? I was dressed like this lady. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I've done it a few times. But not to the extent she was coming in every week or something. I think she was selling them or something because she would target the unopened ones.
We were kids and we just wanted to do something that we were not supposed to do. So we were at some cafe and there's salt and pepper. We just stole that.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
I've stolen a whole table set before. I was doing that with my best friend. When someone was rude to us, we actually started to take a little spoon or something and then a little plate. And then we took the whole
Did you go prepared? Because the problem was those things were quite big and we didn't have bags. So we were like, what the fuck are we gonna put them?
I used to steal these glass cups from a bar because they had really cool cups, like traditional. What I would do is I would obviously drink the stuff in there, but then hide it with my jacket and just walk out. Hello.
Sometimes the most obvious is the least obvious. We just walked out and left.
Oh, it's like a Rihanna.
Yeah, I was about to say. Okay, Rihanna.
She always had this paparazzi photo live in a place with a glass of something.
She just takes cups. Yeah. I saw somewhere online, it's the feminine urge to just take something, just to gather. Start gathering.
It looks nice. It should be in my home.
Do you mind if I drank some water beforehand?
What was it like to be in the room for, how long were you there?
I was there for 2 weeks, or a little less than 2 weeks, a day. I thought it was gonna be a little bit easier because, like I mentioned before, I do everything in my room. I sleep, work, record, everything. But I definitely underestimated it. I'm very noise sensitive and light sensitive.
Did you feel the pressure? You have to do something because you're always on camera.
It was definitely jarring. Of course, you have to be mindful at all times because you don't want to say anything insane or not that I was worried that would be the case. It was more so like an accidental movement or something. Or another thing I did immediately was I located all the blind spots. If I wasn't comfortable or something, I would just go into a space I knew wasn't being recorded. I have a persona head that I started to use as a scarecrow. And it would trick people, thought I was just awake, just sitting there like this. But it wasn't me. It was just hours and hours of a scarecrow. And I was just in the corner.
When it just started, we had a couple of guests and we just played around these ideas of how would you win? What would be the strategies? Was something like that even a case, thinking other participants as competitors?
Each one of us had what you would say an advantage in one platform or another. For instance, Vincent, he is excellent at YouTube. I'm very confident on my TikTok skills. I'm really proud of that. And then Stephanie, she was really great at Instagram. When we first went into the house, obviously the TikTok ban happened and I deleted TikTok off my phone. So I had to upload on my computer and that put me in a bad space because that's my favorite app. But I figured it out. But I think the biggest one was obviously Stephanie because she was utilizing K-pop music and K-pop fandoms to grow her platform. And rule number one of the internet, you gotta know not to mess with the K-pop art, the K-pop artists or the stands. The stands are serious business. At first I was I'm gonna make time lapses about my design. But then it's freaking Instagram. It obviously is going to prioritize me in a tight outfit versus me sitting in my computer creating my passion. So for a little bit I went into that route of just silly slight things or just me. But then I tried to start incorporating my initial goal, which is design and AI and robots and all that. And by the end of this experience, I definitely think I found my recipe that I just need to fine tune and just make over and over again.
I think you have an interesting niche, really fits into your brand image.
Lambchop, this is an idea I created in college. That was 5 years ago. The idea of lamb's really innocent, sweet, that's really cool, but chop, you can play around with that chop to be more aggressive. Lamb chop, meat, piece of meat. Food, a pretty respectable food too. I try to make sure of. And then on top of that, there's a layer of puppetry because in America, and I'm sure maybe you guys know who Lambchop is, but Here, we grew up with this puppet, Lambchop, who has an attitude. So I wanted to ensure that I set a space for myself where having an attitude and a hint of punkness it makes sense for me.
Who of those three people would be the least favorite for you to be locked in with?
Okay.
Vitalik, Brian, or Grace?
This is not a fair competition. Like,
That's why it's spicy.
so I'm not gonna pick Grace because Grace is an angel. Brian has been nothing but kind and respectful to me too. I don't know Vitalik. I don't know. Maybe that could be a bad time because he's like a billionaire or something. So maybe it just wouldn't mesh. But my gut is going to say Brian though, because I would love to be locked in an apartment with Vitalik. Come on, what? We'd have fun.
If you're into gaming, you might find some common
I'm
ground.
into gaming. I'm into gaming and I'm into Russians, so
What's the most annoying habits your two ex-housemates had?
okay, let's start off with Stephanie. Stephanie's most annoying habit is that she left early and was winning. But she was really sweet and I wish she stayed longer. Even though she was winning, I genuinely loved like her existence in the house. You know what I mean? It just like it was like a perfect balance. I said this to him, so and also it was recorded, so this is not shady. I'm just being real. It did annoy me that my other roommate Vincent would take calls a lot, and the main space in my room was like right next to the main space, so I heard 99% of the conversations sometimes if I didn't have my headphones on. But we talked about it and he was very receptive to that critique and became a lot more mindful towards the end.
What is something that your mom or dad or other family member or best friend would say about you and you would be like, no, don't tell them?
Well, I would say I'm a little messy. And I'll be like, but I think that was also clear with how the room started to look towards the end. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I just stopped making my bed. I started to sleep with like pile of clothes next to me. Also, on top of that, I get agitated around my period, like bad. And I think honestly, it was a godsend that I got the chance to leave before that situation happened, because I'm not a great person when I'm PMSing.
Yeah, maybe for you it was better that you left, but for the
Yeah.
audience, maybe it will be a spicy moment. There will be fights and stuff.
No, literally, the Real Housewives of Lonely.
Most awkward thing you've done on a date?
I'm a very awkward person and I'm very direct, so there's a plethora of these types of things. What kind of story do you guys want? Give me, because I'm not kidding, I have so many.
Can you categorize what are the categories?
Awkward sexual encounters. Okay, or I could do awkward just general, or I could do like young me awkwardness. You guys can pick.
Awkward sexual encounters.
One time I was dating, or not dating, but I was seeing this vegan boy for a while, and no, because every time I try to befriend or date a vegan, it doesn't like work out. And it's just because fundamentally speaking, very different mentalities, just on a fundamental basis. And so when I try to make it work, from God, nature doesn't allow it. I swear. So this is our second time hanging out. He was like not following me around college, but he was trying to get me to date him for a minute. So I finally give in. I go on this date. It's fine, whatever. We're chilling, watching some freaking movie. I think it was Charlie's Angels, my favorite movie that he ruined. I'm sitting there enjoying the movie. I went to go, like, I think I was about to say something about the movie, and I go, eh. And then his fucking head, his big ass head with his stupid ass man bun, fucking turns his head. I turned my head slightly, and his fucking face is right there. And his mouth, he like head butts me in my tooth, okay? On my tooth. Right here, I have a chip in my tooth because of a vegan, and I swear I still have resentment to all of vegans a little bit, not even just because of him. There's multiple vegans I just don't have good experiences with, but the tooth, that is, every time I smile I think about him a little bit, and I hate that. And I had to call my mom because my mom fixed my tooth. You think my mom loves teeth? You think she's happy that she had to fix my tooth? I wasn't. Anyway, so this is like the most recent, like last year I broke up with my ex and I went on one date last year in 2024. It was great. And then the freaking guy, he starts biting my tongue and biting my lips. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I woke up with bruises on my lip and my tongue. Who the fuck leaves a bruise on a tongue? Since I didn't know. And it was just a while, truthfully, it was a while of just me like even kissing someone. So I was like, oh, okay, it's something new. No, it was not okay. It was weird, honestly. The whole time I was like, how do I like mention to stop biting my tongue?
Kind of reminded me of all the stories that I see on social media when you're the guy, and mostly like girl influencers, creators creating these videos. Like, you watch the movies and they're like, turn around, and then just like the girl doesn't want to turn, and then
The second part to that story I just remembered. Months go by. I'm like, okay, I forgive him. And let's hang out. I was like, okay, we can hang out as friends. Okay, friends. So I go over to his apartment and he had, those things that hang from the ceiling, like a chair?
Like a hanging chair or like like one of these swings?
Just like a normal, just like an egg with a metal extender that connects to the wall that people put outside. He's like sitting on that thing. He has one in the front of his house. And I'm sitting on a bench far away from that. And so he's swinging back and forth, and I kid you not. I don't know what he was saying, but he was annoying me, and I was like, ugh. And I'm not, wallah, on God. The fucking thing, it breaks from the ceiling and it smacks him on his head, cracks open his head. I had to take him to the hospital. Because his skull was bleeding. And then, long story short, after that, we never talked again.
You shouldn't. Again.
that's probably what he thought the first time. It's something about the head.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be.
So there are some bars in Los Fomos where you can get cocktails based on your aura. What type of cocktail would you get today?
I feel like my aura and the drinks I would get are very different, because I feel like if I were to get a drink based off my aura, it would be peppery, smoky, like that type of flavor. But my flavor palette is like weak. I have a little girl flavor palette. I like my drinks to taste like sugar or coffee. I like mojitos, white wine. I like espresso martinis.
Where's the Lambchop headquarter in Los Fomos? And what does it look like?
You guys have a crazy cool church?
Maybe in your neighborhood there is one.
Yeah, it would be like in the basement of a Gothic church, or in the attic of a Gothic church, looking over the entire city with a mini bar that in front of the window, so I could just make spicy drinks as I look down on the city.
And what would be the most outrageous rumor about you?
That I eat men's souls. They come in one way and leave zombies with no brain thought.
If you hear someone spreading this rumor, would you confront them or play along? Or would you actually lean into it and make the rumor even crazier?
I've always had crazy rumors surrounding me, just ever since I was a kid. I think I would play along with it. I don't know. I've had weird rumors like that, especially because I'm Algerian. I grew up with the birthmark on my hand, and Algerians are spiritual people. So I've heard some crazy spiritual things growing up that I'm like, okay. But then I play into it because sometimes it's better to be feared than anything.
What is the most toxic trait you have?
Okay, this is actually something like I really want to work on, and if you have been a victim to this, I'm so sorry. I'm just like, genuinely, I'm trying to change my ways and I'm working on it. But I have this problem where, because I grew up like really bullied, sometimes when I interact with people or new people or any people, if I just think or they make like comments, or like I sense that they're trying to be mean to me, I will automatically become an asshole, because it's my defense mechanism.
Do you apologize?
I do for most people, but sometimes it's that the bridge is already kind of burned. I take accountability for my actions, and sometimes it takes me a month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. Once I acknowledge it and once it hits but the reality of the situation, I always apologize, yes, because I'm like, dang, that's crazy. I want to expect better from humans and not automatically assume someone is like...
Okay, what would be your ultimate hangover cure after the party in one of the clubs in Los Fomos?
Like a good breakfast. What is your breakfast order? Ideally something that you could eat every freaking day and almost not get sick of it.
I just love a very simple tomato and cucumber salad with like some spicy pepper chopped and some kind of a cheese that is a little bit salty.
Pauline, I want to hear your breakfast girly Los Fomos.
The first thing that comes to mind, which I'm also in the mood for it right now, and weirdly I have an avocado laying next to me. Avocado smashed with some chopped onions, olive oil, lemon juice, salt, pepper, and chili flakes.
You're making me hungry. Envision that so clearly.
We are finished with our brunch in Los Fomos Diner, or the Breakfast Club. We have a Clanker Street, which is where the Clanker headquarters is. There's a lot of interesting bars around this area. One is a really cool Latin bar where you can go dancing and you can have cocktails. The other one is like more fancy with finger food and martinis. Where do you take us?
We're going dancing. We're going dancing, what? For sure.
Okay, I think that's Clanker Street.
Perfect. Right up my alley. We can go say hi to Proxy Studios. We can take him with us.
As far as I remember, it's like the street, there is no rules and stuff, so...
I bet he's tap dancing or something and it does like clunk, clunk.
That's hilarious. He just wears like an aluminum, the Clanker intern profile picture.
Who do you want to nominate to join us next in Los Fomos?
I'm gonna say Vitalik. Yeah, I want to see you guys find out his.
I would love to.
I feel like he's freaky.
I think he is. That's the thing.